At 75 years old, Victoria Principal has finally opened up about one of the most deeply emotional and tragic chapters of her life, her relationship with singer Andy Gibb. For decades, fans and the media speculated about the nature of their romance, a love story that captured public attention in the late 1970s and early 1980s, though she largely chose silence, preserving her privacy and steering clear of tabloid headlines. Victoria now reflects with honesty on the passion, heartbreak, and lasting impact of their time together. But before we revisit that chapter, it's important to understand the woman behind the fame, her upbringing, her career, and the independent spirit that shaped every decision she made. Victoria Principal was born Vicky Ree Principal on January 3, 1950, in the culturally rich city of Fukuoka, Japan. At the time, the city was home to several U.S. military bases in the aftermath of World War II. Her father, Victor Rocco Principal, a disciplined and devoted U.S. Air Force sergeant of Italian-American descent, was stationed there, while her mother, Ree, of English heritage, managed their household with grace and warmth. This unique combination of cultures, Italian, American, and English, provided Victoria with a diverse worldview that would influence her throughout her life. Growing up as part of a military family meant constant relocation. Alongside her younger sister, Kim, she moved from Japan to London, Puerto Rico, Florida, Georgia, and Massachusetts. The sisters attended no fewer than 17 different schools. While the constant upheaval made forming lasting friendships difficult, it taught Victoria resilience, adaptability, and the ability to make strong impressions quickly, skills that later helped her navigate the entertainment industry. Despite the challenges, Victoria displayed an early passion for the arts. She trained at the Royal Ballet School in London, where she honed discipline, poise, and body awareness. After graduating from South Dade Senior High School in Florida in 1968, she enrolled in a medical program at Miami-Dade Community College. Her desire to study medicine was fueled by compassion and a strong work ethic, but fate intervened. Just a year into her studies, Victoria suffered a life-altering accident. During her recovery, she reevaluated her life and decided to pursue a different passion, acting. With determination, she moved to New York City and immersed herself in modeling and acting, later studying at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London under Professor Jean Scott. This serious training grounded her in Shakespearean drama, stage presence, and emotional depth, qualities that would distinguish her in Hollywood. Victoria's first major break came in 1972 when she starred alongside Paul Newman in The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. Her performance as Marie Elena was praised, earning her a Golden Globe nomination for Most Promising Newcomer. A year later, she starred in The Naked Ape, even posing for Playboy magazine to promote the film. The bold move demonstrated her willingness to take risks, though the movie itself failed commercially. She followed with roles in Earthquake and other projects, but frustrated by the lack of substantial parts, she briefly quit acting in 1974 to become an agent. A few years later, financial struggles kept her from pursuing law school, but when producer Aaron Spelling offered her a role on Fantasy Island in exchange for a year's tuition, she accepted. That decision reignited her acting career and led to her most iconic role. In 1978, Victoria Principal became a household name when she joined the cast of Dallas as Pamela Barnes Ewing. The primetime soap opera became a cultural phenomenon, and Victoria's portrayal of Pamela's strong-willed yet compassionate earned her a Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress. Her on-screen chemistry with Patrick Duffy was legendary, and for 9 years, she became one of television's most recognizable stars. After leaving Dallas in 1987, she founded Victoria Principal Productions, focusing on meaningful made-for-TV movies. Later, she built a thriving skincare empire, Principal Secret, proving herself not just as an actress but as a successful entrepreneur. Her personal life, however, was more turbulent. In 1978, Victoria married actor Christopher Skinner, but the marriage ended in divorce just 2 years later. In 1985, She wed Beverly Hills plastic surgeon Dr. Harry Glassman. Their marriage lasted 2 decades before ending amicably in 2006. Victoria chose never to remarry and never had children, explaining that she preferred to dedicate her life to her career, passions, and philanthropy. She became especially active in animal rights and environmental causes, further highlighting her independent spirit. But of all her relationships, none captured the public's imagination more than her romance with Andy Gibb. Their love story began in 1981, when both were at the height of fame. Victoria was starring in Dallas, while Andy, the youngest of the Bee Gees, was soaring with chart-topping hits like Shadow Dancing and I Just Want to Be Your Everything. Their instant chemistry led to a whirlwind romance. Andy was captivated by her sophistication and strength, while Victoria admired his charm, sensitivity, and vulnerability. To the public, they were a glamorous, perfect couple. But behind closed doors, challenges mounted. Andy struggled with substance abuse, particularly cocaine, which began to derail both his career and personal life. Victoria, who lived a disciplined, health-conscious lifestyle, was heartbroken watching the man she loved fall deeper into addiction. She later admitted that she believed their love might save him, but over time, she realized that no amount of love could fix someone who wasn't ready to help themselves. Ending the relationship became one of the most painful decisions of her life. I had to walk away not because I stopped caring, she later said, but because I cared too much. If I stayed, I would have become part of the problem. Victoria's decision to leave Andy was an act of both love and self-preservation. Tragically, Andy never fully recovered. His career faltered and his health worsened. On March 10, 1988, Andy Gibb died at just 30 years old from myocarditis, a heart condition likely aggravated by years of substance abuse. Victoria was devastated. Though they had been apart for years, she admitted that a part of her heart never healed. When he died, it felt like a chapter of my soul closed forever, she said. There was so much more I wish I could have said to him, so much I wish he could have seen for himself. Decades later, Victoria Principal still speaks of Andy with a mixture of sorrow and gratitude. She cherishes the memories of long walks on the beach, late-night conversations, and laughter they shared while mourning the future they never had. He had a light in him, she recalled. He just didn't know how to protect it from the darkness around him. Today, at 75, Victoria has made peace with her past, but Andy remains a bittersweet part of her story, a reminder of love's intensity, its fragility, and its limits. Their relationship was more than a Hollywood romance. It was a human story of two people who loved deeply, but whose lives were tragically pulled in different directions.